The first time I met David, I did not see his face. I heard his voice. We were both taking a class at our local hospital, learning to give massages as volunteers for people who were ill and critically ill. I had come late to the class, so I didn't meet any of the students. And I found myself in a small hospital room with 2 beds and a curtain drawn between them. You ever seen a room like that? I was lying in the hospital bed getting a foot massage from my partner. I started to relax, and the sounds of the hospital just faded away. And I heard this wonderful, low, deep, kind of sexy voice from the other side of the curtain, and it gave me goosebumps. But it wasn't just the sound or the quality of his voice that stirred my soul so deeply. It was who he was. It was what he was saying to his partner and the way he would listen to what she had to say. I started to become hypnotized and imagined a man about 6 feet tall, curly brown hair, well-muscled bodies, wearing tight blue jeans and cowboy boots. It was time to change partners, and I wanted to meet him. So I stepped up to the curtain that separated us. I pulled it open. Ooh. All I saw was the left side of David's face, and it startled me. It's ooh. You know what I did? I turned and I walked away.
I want you to stare at my face today. I'm going to talk about what it's like to look different and to feel different, especially when I was about your age. So I need some support. I need some encouragement. Here's what I want. When I count to 3 and point, I want all of you to say, "What happened to your face?" Can you do that? 1, 2, 3.
What happened to your face?
Thank you. What you see on the left side of my face and neck, about down to here, is a birth difference, not a birth defect. What I'm saying is, it's not something wrong, it's just unique, it's just different, okay? When I was a year old, still a tiny baby, the whole bottom part of my face blossomed into what looked like a bunch of grapes. I had the first of many operations. The lower part of my mouth and my lower lip was cut off. I had many other operations, procedures. I had heavy radiation therapy that caused the lower part of my face to stop growing, and I lost all my teeth. So I was pretty much born with this face. And for most of my life, I felt ashamed of the way I look. It's taken me a long time to realize that my face is actually a gift. A gift. Not the kind of gift I was real excited about, okay? I mean, is this the kind of gift that you open and the first thing they say is, "That's awesome! How did you know what I wanted?" No, this is the kind of gift that you open and the first thing they say is, "Oh, you shouldn't have." But it is a gift, and here's why. Because my difficulty, my challenge is on the outside, where I've been forced to deal with it. I had no choice. I had to look inside to find my beauty and my sense of who I am.
I felt so ashamed and embarrassed that I did that, turning and walking away from David. But as I was walking away, there was still that something about him that I was drawn to. You know how it is when you have a crush on someone. You can hide in the back of the class and sneak looks. I did that. I just had to get used to that strange face. I wonder if he was born that way. Was he in a fire? I wonder if he dates. Does he have a girlfriend? Oh, I wonder what it would be like to kiss him. Okay, Marlena, get up your courage. Okay. And I walked up to David, and I looked him straight in the face, and I said, David, would you be my partner for this last exercise of the day? And he said, yes. And that was the beginning of a wonderful friendship. But I had other challenges. I had never known anyone with a visible disability. For the first 6 months that David and I dated, he never even asked me if I wanted to know what happened to his face.
People do ask me about my face. Sometimes I just want to say, hey, you heard of a bad hair day? I'm having a bad face day. Okay. And I have to tell you that I am pretty much not teasable because I belong to a gang. I do. I belong to a gang of all the cool, facially disfigured guys in show business, in the movies and in theater. I just think of who's in my gang. Freddy Krueger, Two-Face, the Beast, the Phantom of the Opera, Igor, Frankenstein, Michael Jackson. We like to hang out at night, and every once in a while we get to jump out and scare somebody. That's always fun. I actually had a pretty happy childhood. I got unconditional love when I was born. My mother used to tell me, honey, you are so smart. You could be anything you want to be. Really, honey. Honey, you're so smart. You could be anything you want to be. Really, honey. That was great to hear. And I had my grandmother, my Nana, mi abuela. She really loved me. I went to Catholic school, Our Lady of Grace School. We went into church every day, and they wanted us to go in like this. Eyes down, holy, walking slowly, single file. I wanted to show my Nana what a good boy I had learned to be, so I ran home after school. She sat in the big armchair on the other side of the living room, and I started toward her, showing her how good I was. Halfway across the living room, Nana jumped up. She ran at me. She grabbed my chin and yanked it up. She grabbed my face like I was a baby, like, good, and got in front of me and yelled, no, hold your chin up. You be proud of who you are. You look them in the eye. David, do you hear me? She thought that I was being taught to hide my face, and she couldn't stand that. She lit a spark inside me so that I always knew that I was loved. Which was helpful because my difficulties actually started when I was about your age, in middle school. It was around Halloween. I'm 12 years old. This Halloween, I got invited to a party at Mary McDermott's house. I realized that I had been invited to and had arrived at my first boy-girl party, dressed as a clown. I wonder if you could guess the first game that we played at that party. Say it.
Spin the bottle.
Yes. And the first dinner was Patty, and she was considered to be the cutest girl at Our Lady of Grace School. We're down there kneeling in the basement. She has a bottle. She's across the circle. She spins the bottle, rattle, rattle, rattle. It slows down. Oh my God, here it comes. Oh no, right at me. Ah! I look across at Patty, and she says, "Oh, yuck, not you." She reaches down to spin again to find somebody else. And I was kneeling there, feeling really bad, and still I was able to look across at Patty and say to her, "Patty, I know you want me."
You know, you don't have to look like David to know what it feels like to want someone to take a second look at you. It happened to me. When I was 14, we moved from the inner city of Chicago to a suburb. I went from a middle school of 300 kids to a high school of 4,000. I didn't know anyone. I felt like my parents had ruined my life. So to build my confidence up to go to this school, I thought I'll change my appearance. That's how I'll build my confidence. So I tried to straighten. My hair was really frizzy and curly. So I bought a product called Straight Away. I tried to straighten my hair, and then I hated my freckles. They came out in the sun, and kids used to tease me and call me a spotted animal because they were really dark. So I got this freckle cream. I tried to remove the freckles, and all that happened was I just had this red blotches all over, and freckles were still there, and that Straight Away product burned the top of my hair, so I had this little crew cut. Oh, I still remember that first day of school, standing in the front hallway of the school. All I saw was a maze of lockers and hundreds of kids. For 3 weeks, I didn't talk to anyone, and no one talked to me. Cheryl sat next to me in homeroom, and she was beautiful and popular. One day she put her hand on my arm and she said, "Marlena, you're new here, aren't you?" Oh, listen, I'll introduce you to some of my friends. Oh, whew. On the way to her house for the first time, we're at the door, and she says, "Wait. Oh, Marlena, don't let my parents know you're Jewish." And I covered up the Star of David I was wearing. I don't know, Marlena, but my parents are always making really nasty comments about Jewish people. They're not going to let me be friends with you. So you don't have to look like David to know what that feels like.
I'm sure each one of you could tell a story about someone who took a second look at you, especially when you're new in school. When I met Marlena, I thought, she's too cute to go out with someone who looks like me. I took all my courage to ask her out, but she said yes. So we went to a movie, and then we came back to my front porch on a summer night, and we sat next to one another, and I was like so shy. I was like paralyzed. It was like, okay, and here's that left arm. I got it. On the back of that itchy old couch, you know, and I couldn't move it because I was so shy, and all we did was talk and talk and talk, and it was so boring. Until finally, around midnight, when Marlena turned to me and said,
"David, it's late. I have to go home now."
and that moment froze for me. Because all evening long I wanted to kiss her, but I thought, a monster with only one lip? I had enough courage to say, "But I want to kiss you."
Oh, David, I thought you'd never ask.
Yeah? Well, okay, I should tell the truth. I'm sitting there, I'm feeling like I'm a freak, I'm a monster. And then as soon as Marlena said, oh, David, I thought you'd never ask, everything changed, and it was like 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really sexy, yes, yeah.
I still remember calling my mother. Hi, Mom. Guess what? I met this great guy. His name is David Roach. He's funny and kind and, but the best of all, Mom, is he treats me like a queen. No, he's not Jewish. Not Rose, Roach. He's also facially disfigured. Well, he hasn't told me what it is. I'm too shy to ask. He'll tell me when he's ready, Mom. Well, it's on the left side of his face, and it's bulgy and purple, and his tongue is purple, and his mouth is crooked. I don't know what happened, and sometimes he drools, because it's a little hard, and no, it's not cancer, Mom. No. Really, you'll like him. When my parents finally met David, they responded like me. They looked at the floor, they looked to the side and talked to me, then they stared, then they took a second look, and then it was okay. It was easier. What was your first reaction when you saw David, when you came into the room?
When I first saw you, I said, oh no, I feel so bad for him. I wonder what he's been through. But then when you started talking, it put a smile on my face. It really made me happy because you were so happy of who you are.
Nobody talked about these things when I went to school. I mean, people who had disabilities or were different in some way were like off in some other part of the school. So I think what do you guys think? What I'm hearing from you is it really dissipates the fear.
At first, when I saw David, I didn't think it was gross or anything, but the only thing that came into my mind was that he must feel so bad. But after hearing this speech, now whenever I see someone walking on the street with a disability, I won't just think about the negative things. I'll think of all the positive things and how special these people can really be inside, not just outside.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, of course, I wanted to know what happened to his face, but I wasn't as much like stay away, because a lot of the times, like you said, first look can be deceiving. And you can't judge a book by its cover. You have to get to know the person, and I think his speech really helped us get to know his personality.
One of the biggest lessons I've learned from having a friend like David is that first look is not what counts. I needed time to adjust to how David looked. My friends needed time. My family needed time. Now, I don't see his face as different any longer. He is just who he is. I fell in love with David, and we got married. And my wedding day was one of the happiest days of my life.
I always had friends, and that really helped me the most. So I want to take a moment, just a moment, to thank you for being someone's friend, and for the times when you took a second look at someone else and really believed in them and saw who they really were.
David needed a second look and a second listen. So did I need a second look. You need a second look. We all need a second look.
When you heard people make fun of your face, did you ever get in a physical fight with one of them?
Yes. I did. Sometimes I tried to defend myself by being a bully myself, okay? That's not cool, I know. Other times I got in fights, not a whole lot, and they were kind of boy fights, just shoving each other and, cursing and stuff. Also, the main thing that helped me was having friends. Friends Didn't even have to say anything. It was just like standing by, you know? Being an ally. That's the word you use now, right? Ally? Yeah, I had allies and friends.
Okay. You said you had freckles. What happened to them?
Oh, but yeah. Well, there's a little makeup on now. But they just started to fade as I got older. But if I'm in the sun, they really come out. They're just like, wow, you know. Oh, you have freckles too. Now I'm starting to feel they're cute.
Yeah, yeah, those
Yeah.
freckles.
I don't want to ask him what happened to your face. He probably gets that a lot, and he probably doesn't want to explain. And then he goes, look at my face.
That made it feel more comfortable for you.
Yeah.
How do you want people to approach you?
You know, I appreciate honesty and the warm eye contact and smile and hi. The same thing as you guys want. What do you want? That's what I want. A thing that always helped me in terms of reactions, to be listened to. When Marlena says to be respected, you know, then okay, don't make your judgment until you hear what I have to say and who I am. So thank you for that.
I think you actually accept that you're beautiful more than people who don't have a face disorder, and I think that's very cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Don't forget my face. You're at a time in your life when you're just starting to figure out who you are. And there will be times, yes, when you'll get discouraged, when you'll lose faith in yourself. At those times, turn to your friends, turn to your allies, and think of my face. My face is a gift because I've been forced to find my inner beauty. And just as I accept myself the way I am, I accept you the way you are. You hold your chin up. You look them in the eye. You be proud of who you are. Thanks for this question. Thanks, that was great. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Take another look.
Thank you, dear.
What do you see?
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
First impressions always messing with reality.